Hey guys, Coach here. Welcome back to the channel. Man, on a blustery, very chilly northern Maine afternoon, we are talking about utilitarian areas in the landscape. Everybody needs one. Why do we need to consolidate it? And what are the prerequisites and benefits of having one? I'm so glad you're here. As you can see, our northeast storm that came through a few days ago, it leveled some beautiful trees. And as a result, we've got a cord and a half of wood that we have to chop up and get ready. But we're here to talk about that utility area, so let's get started, shall we? Okay, so what are some of the prerequisites for a utility area in the landscape? Basically, power, water if you have it there, and space. Utility areas are really hard to manifest and create if you have very little space. But if you have a quarter-acre lot, you know, a residential lot with a two-story home on it, so you're not taking up a lot of the lot space, and you've got 12 feet on one side yard and 8 feet on the other side yard, you do have a place where utility areas can be formulated and installed. So, what do I mean by utilitarian area? If you take a look at some of these shots that Maestro is going to put together for you, these are some of the things that are alleviated by consolidating these elements of the landscape. And when I say elements, they're functions of the landscape. Things like irrigation valve assemblies, lighting transformers, irrigation transformers, garbage can areas. Maybe if you have a large enough place, you have sheds, you have RV parking areas. These are the kinds of areas that if you consolidate them, your front yard visible from the street or the road, your backyard outdoor living areas are not visually cluttered with those elements. You may have one or two depending on how much room you have, but for the most part, if you have power there, then you can take care of irrigation timers and transformer, lighting transformers very easily. If you have water in your front yard, you can tap into it and bring it underground to that area, so you have your irrigation valves here, your timers up on the wall, and you're all good to go. The other thing is if you create a nice nook off on the side yard that's fairly large, you can enclose your garbage can areas, you can pour yourself a pad or put in a nice gravel area. You can even cordon it off with an elbow type of fence so it's sequestered. And then you won't have that front yard, you won't have the front yard that has the lawnmower there and the kids' bikes, the garbage cans in the driveway, etc. You'll have a very nice organized landscape that really reflects how proud you are to be a homeowner and a neighbor within the neighborhood. So, let's go inside and talk about this just a little bit more in a little more comfortable environment, and we'll talk about the benefits and how to put it together. All right, on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. So many times utility areas tend to evolve over decades of home ownership into the garage. And the garage area, if you think about it, they were originally designed for vehicles, and that was about it. And as the 19th century evolved, we went from the baby boomers to my generation, and now, you know, Generation Z, X, millennials, whatever's out there now. I've kind of lost track. But now we have washers and dryers out there. We have multiple vehicles, and on occasion, people tend to use their garages as a storage unit. And we've all seen them. We've seen those garages that are just stacked to the rafters with stuff where people have to go through their garage sideways and the cars are out in the driveway. And when vehicles are out in the driveway, they're exposed to prying eyes. And that's where a lot of vehicle thefts, vehicle burglaries, and other things happen because the vehicle should be indoors. Now, here at Brook and Pond, we've only been here 8 weeks. And you can see The layout of this garage is horrible, and this will be addressed in 2024, I guarantee. But we need to restructure it, redo the doors, and then all of the things that are in here on workbenches and stuff will be out in the utility area where I'm going to have one of those large portable sheds, probably 16 by 40 out there. And a lot of this stuff will be out there. We'll be able to bring the truck in and put it in. We'll be able to put some insulation and some wall covering on here, and it's going to look really nice again. Right now, not so much. Not very proud of it. Surprised that I even brought you in here. But we don't use the garage as the utilitarian area if you can avoid it. Sheds, covered walls. I even saw a really good idea that I'm going to share with you right now. So many times underneath people's decks is such wasted space, and it could be used so intelligently. Check out what April did on her channel here. I really like the drawer idea. I really do. I think it's a very unique, and for most people, you could store almost all your yard tools horizontally and waterproof in something like this. Very sturdy and very well built. The other one with the slide out doors, you wouldn't have to cut it at slope unless you have a slope. You would be able to make opening doors and such, and be able to do that very easily with some simple carpentry skills, or have somebody do it for you. But don't waste that space. You can put tools on the wall. You can enclose that all the way, and you'd be able to use it very intelligently. So don't waste that space. Use it intelligently and consolidate utility areas. Imagine timers and transformers and other things hanging right here on the wall. Okay, a little more comfortable environs in here for right now. So let's finish this up. Utilitarian areas. They're basically a supporting area of the rest of your landscape so that you can alleviate a scatteredness of your various elements like irrigation, like lighting, etc. What I used to almost make it a trademark of my designs was that I did this consolidation right on paper for people. And in many cases, especially a generation older than me that I would have as customers, really couldn't wrap their heads around it until I gave them a detailed explanation of the why. And once we had the why understood, you could see that light bulb rheostat really brighten up, and they understood it. Not only did they understand it, but when it was done, they really understood it and bought off on it and thought it was a fantastic idea, because everything that they need to service, adjust, maintain throughout the year is all in one place. If they have stuff, and everybody has stuff, they have, usually I brought in tough sheds, that kind of thing, and I'm not sponsored by them, but I had tough sheds brought in, and we would locate those in a very convenient area. Then we would generally bring out power to that tough shed, and then I would locate irrigation valves, transformers, timers, etc. in the shed, along with all their yard maintenance equipment, all in one place. Surprisingly, most of the time the sheds were large enough that they could alleviate and open up their garage and their garage space like 75% more. And they were able to get both their vehicles in there. They were able to open the car doors without hitting the stuff. And this was the utility benefit that a homeowner gets, an organized homeowner gets, by having a designated, consolidated utilitarian area. So really consider it as, if you're buying a brand new home and you have a blank slate, so much the better. If you're getting into an existing home, really evaluate the possibilities of, can I make a utility area? Or is everything already established and scattered everywhere? What is the cost basis going to be? Am I going to benefit that much by reorganizing it? Or can I just bring things through the basement or under the crawl space, or trench a line around the house and do it that way? I do not expect anybody who lives in, say, like condominium complex, something like that, probably not going to work for you. It's if you have a little garden patio area type of thing, you don't have enough things and it's really not applicable. If you are on larger properties, say acreage, that kind of thing, very much applicable there, because you may not be enclosing it with a fence, because maybe you're on a big enough piece of property, you don't enclose it that way. And if you did, okay, so much the better, but you can really easily locate. Consider where your well is located and where you're going to bring water to the irrigation system if you're going to have one. Like up here in the Northeast, chances are we're not going to have an irrigation system, but I'll guarantee you we're going to have some form of outdoor water source more than the one tiny little spigot at the front of the house. And I'm going to be bringing out in the utility area that you saw out by the pole there, I'm going to be bringing out hot water as well. That way I can power wash the truck when we have slimy, salty roads and stuff. Keep the truck in very good shape. So utilitarian areas, think it out a little bit. Remember the cost factor, but there's really not a lot. You're putting this stuff in anyway. Why not put it all in one particular area? That way, outdoor areas, outdoor living areas are luxurious looking and very functional without the visual pollution of these other hardscape elements and utility stuff. Remember that you can also divide larger yards off so sheds aren't visible. I can remember one job in Tracy, California, where I actually built a gate area, a bifolding gate, and over on the corner of the property, we had a firewood stack, similar to what you saw me in the opening. We had firewood there, we had all the mechanicals on the wall, we had a shed over there, and they even had room for their own utility trailer. For you RVers out there, utilitarian areas are really, really important. If you're conscientious about the neighborhood and stuff, and you don't really want the RV in the front driveway, it exposes it to prying eyes, and it also detracts away from your property itself. If you can get it in the backyard, sequestered on one side or something, consider tapping into your own sewer system where you could actually have an RV dump station. You could have a 30 or 50 amp brought out to that side of the yard where you can actually plug in. Guarantee you, one of the things that my dad did is we used to have an RV at his house, and when we would go and visit, the kids would stay in the RV, and it was already heated up. It was already had a fridge with waters and sodas and food in it and everything. Very, very convenient. Can really house visitors very nice and alleviate some of the concentration of people at the nighttime when, hey, it's time to go to sleep. Some people go out in the RV and others, they go to their bedrooms. So, utilitarian area. Very, very important. And when it comes to putting that sign in the front yard saying for sale, you can obviously point to how organized the landscape is, and people will appreciate it as well. Guys, that's what I have for you. That's what I have for you this week, right before Christmas of 2023. Maestro and I wish all of you a very safe, sane, and happy holiday, and a happy new year. We're going to be taking the week after Christmas off. We will not have a video or a podcast next week, so we're going to join you right after the first of the year. So very appreciative of getting us up over the 10,000 mark, closing in on 11, which we would love to say we made it to 11,000 subscribers by the end of the year. But in any case, thanks for spending a few minutes. Don't forget to comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have any landscape questions, especially about this episode or anything else, you can reach out to me personally, youryardcoach@gmail.com. The website's always there, where I have an educational book, digital course, and a 15-step checklist, and a freebie giveaway always. And if you're in the mind, there's always the merch right here on the YouTube channel over on Spring. Thank you again. Thanks for a great year. Sure did go by fast. And we're getting through the chilly Maine winter flying colors, and we can't wait to get to the landscaping season. Ugh, boy, that landscape probability is still a 0 for us. Sure like to know where you're at and what's your landscape probability right now or after the first of the year. As always, to your landscape success, thanks for tuning in. Goodbye for now.